So hey everyone, welcome back to Rebecca's Colouring Arts and Crafts. So you may notice something a bit different today. I just wanted to try this. Obviously I'm not going to do it every single time, but I wanted to try this a bit this time. Basically what you'll notice here is that I have gone and started a bit of the background. So basically the reason why I did this was because partly I wanted to test my colour combo along the page, see how I liked it, but also because I wanted to save a lot of the time that I normally spend doing black backgrounds on the images to show you, and I figured doing it this way would save a lot of time. I have sketched out the same boxes up above. If you want to know the sizes of the boxes, I'll just show you here. It is 3.4 centimeters for these little squares and about 5.1 centimeters for this center box. Basically I have drawn these ahead just because I didn't want to save time with the black background. Basically that's why I did that off camera, but as I was doing it I got this idea and I just wanted to test it and see how it sort of worked and the colours, and that is why I did that. Obviously I've left a top area here to do. You'll see that I've basically just sketched or drawn in the lines. So we've got diagonals in the square boxes and then horizontal checks in the other boxes. As for the space in our black area, I've basically drawn it just below the butterfly, so you've got a slight gap and just above the this book belongs to part. So the length of that is about 8.9 centimeters, and our length at the bottom of the book with the bottom page is about 6.1 centimeters, and at the top of the page is about 2.8 centimeters. So yeah, the reason why I did this was partly to save time, because I know I've spent a lot of time with black backgrounds, and you probably pretty much know how to do them. I'm sure there'll still be bits of black backgrounds, but it was partly to save time with the black background, and so you weren't having to see that on camera, but it was also because I did want to test how this design would work. I'll quickly show you the other area that I've been working on through tutorial too, but I'm still going to have to do some little bits of the area that I've left off camera. I actually left the spine area over here for off camera, but basically because the glue broke between the front page and this one, I'm able to flatten it, but I basically have to completely tilt the book up on a 90-degree angle to be able to do that. And there are some areas in this gap where we go right to the spine, you'll see here it does flatten because of that breakage bit at the front there. You'll see I've started with the black gel pen here, but there's an area to about here that I'm going to have to do off camera because it's going to be too awkward trying to colour it, to have the light on it like this. It's not going to work, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of that off camera, and then I'll bring it back in camera, back on camera for the majority of it. But yeah, I was just basically wanted to do a bit of preparation on these two pages in advance for this video, so I hope that's okay. But well, I felt that would be better rather than you sitting there watching a whole heap of black background again. And I know me having done a bit of the colour, well, it means you won't see that little bit, but it kind of was my test, and I did leave half of it to show you. I just figured that would cut down a little bit on the time, and it would allow me to play around a bit more and have a clear idea of what I want to do before I start. Sometimes I go into these not having an idea what to do, and then I kind of get stuck at a certain point, whereas now with these two I do have a really clear idea of where I want to go and what I want to do with them. So you notice here with this introduction page, I've just done a streak down the side. And then what I've done, I've just done like a checkered sort of shredded sort of look behind it with the flower, with the leaves, like a pinky purple leaf. but I just wanted it to look like a bookmark streak or something down both sides with the white in the center. This one, obviously, I wanted it sort of like it looked like a bit of a ribbony sort of effect along the top and the bottom with the patterns. And then I'll just zoom out quickly, but you'll see this one, the rest of this part in, I've done actually 3 parts on how to do certain bits. The gems, I did have a bit of the purple starter with those on the thing, but I figured it was still not enough to stop me from being able to do a bit of a tutorial on that. I also showed how to do a bit of like, you'll notice there's the black and the coloured background. I did a tutorial on that as well. And I also did a tutorial on how to do small spaces, which is little flowers that we've got in this image. So yeah, I really hope you'll enjoy this. This will obviously be 2 of my new tutorials. I'm going to work through this book with the Fabercastell Polychromos and black gel pen. It may not have black gel pen in every area, I don't know, but I kind of, in some ways I kind of want to work in the black gel pen with the coloured pencil through it, because I've started kind of, shall we say, getting that effect happening. It seems to be a regular occurrence currently with the theme of this book that I've started doing. So with this one, obviously we've got the black gel pen and our coloured pencils both for the background, so like a dual toned background. With this one we got the black gel pen with the coloured pencils for the background, dual tone background, and it's exactly the same for this one. It may be slightly different patterns, but or slightly different ways of doing it each time, but it still is the black gel pen with the dual toned background kind of thing. And I kind of feel like I would like to keep that theme going throughout this book. Obviously doing backgrounds and things in different ways, but depending on the image. But that is what I'm thinking is the type of theme that I would like to have going through Johanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly book. So yeah, I really hope you will enjoy this anyway. We're going to do this, I'm going to start with the title page just because I do have a little more work to do on that little section in the spine off camera, and then I can bring in the rest of it on camera obviously and do that there and show you how to do that. I was trying to keep half of it for that and try to only to do the little street, but then I realised it's just going to be too hard attempting to do that little, you know, curve area on camera, and I really am going to have to take that off camera unfortunately for that little bit. But you'll still be able to see how I do the vines, how I do the checks, and how I do the majority of the black gel pen on that section over there. As for this one, I'm going to do all golds and pinks for this one completely, and I'm probably going to do a bit of goldy pink in this center area too once we've done our vines and leaves. But I just figured it would be pretty to keep the gold and pink tones. Obviously there's a little bit of a purple there, but that's just to give more of a depth to the pink and make it seem like it does have more shadows. So yeah, I really hope you'll enjoy this. Yeah, if you do, please leave a like, subscribe and comment. I always love hearing from you, and I really hope you enjoy this. So basically I think where I'm going to start today is, I'm just thinking I should have probably done the top as my tester, and then I could have worked my way down without risking rubbing colour off, because for some reason with these pencils, I don't know why, the colour just seems to like to rub off a bit. You can already see a few spotty sort of bits in it, but sometimes it seems to come out like that, sometimes not. But yeah, I was thinking where I'm going to start for this part is basically these top squares. So basically I'm going to start with Fabercastell Polychromos Indian Red, and I'm going to follow the same pattern as below with where the pieces are placed. Hopefully they're roughly the same amount in each area, hopefully. But yeah, I'm going to start with it there, and then I'm going to obviously come down to this part. I think I'll probably do this this leaf area. I'll see how much time goes as to whether I do this leaf area this part or next part. I may just do the boxes this part and show you how to do that. Obviously you will need to draw square length. I'm sorry I didn't think to show that. The width for between the boxes and the black gel pen is about 4 millimeters, 4 to 5 millimeters. And yeah, that's about the best I can tell you on how I did that. I hope I explained it well enough so you can replicate it. It was basically I just did a lot of that bit just to save a bit of time when I started this video, to allow you to see what I've done, but at the same time not have to watch me doing a whole heap of black gel pen background again, because I know that can get kind of boring at times watching me do that, probably because I've done it a few times. That's why when I was doing Ivy and the Inky butterfly in the tutorials and showing the black gel pen part, I basically did a little bit of a section and then I basically cut it out for the rest of the video, because I figured, well, you probably don't really want to watch a whole heap of that yet again. And so thinking about it, I just thought, well, it just makes sense to do part of that off camera kind of thing. So yeah, that was just my reasons for doing that, and it also allowed me to trial a bit with my colours and how I wanted to go about doing it. And I really do have a really clear idea in mind for how I want to proceed with this image now. I really do. It's really been a useful thing for me to be able to know how I'm going to proceed and where I'm going to go with things. But yeah, it's basically just ruled lines that I've used to do this. So as you would have heard the measurements I told you roughly at the start for drawing this. So I'll see, depending on time, as to if I do a bit of this. I may just try and do the backgroundy bits of the This Book Belongs To part this time, and then do the flowers and that in the second part. So obviously this one isn't going to take a lot of parts, just because I have done a bit of pre-preparation before, but also because it isn't a huge space. But I can't tell how long it may take. 2, it may take 3 parts. But it's obviously not going to be quite as long as some of my parts, but it obviously will still take a while, so it's not going to be a cheap or quick or lazy thing that I'm working on. It's just going to be something that will just take a bit of time to I don't even know what I'm saying exactly. It'll just be something that'll take a bit of time, I guess, to it'll take a bit of time to work on it, but it won't take as long as some of my other pieces probably. At least I don't think it will, but I can't guarantee that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm saying. But yeah, I hope you'll enjoy it either way, but obviously it's probably not going to take as long as it would take with, say, I'll just flip the page quickly. It's obviously not going to take as long as this back image or something like that. I think it'll be quite a bit quicker because I did save time by cutting out the black background, and we did do a little bit of the other background. A little bit of the background off camera, but yeah, so yeah. Hang on, I just need to move and get under it. There we go. Oh well, we'll work around it. We'll just have to move it up once we get to the final square, but yeah, so I guess we'll just have to see how long it'll take, but I think it'll probably be about 2 or 3 parts to do this one. Just, I guess it is a little quicker than sometimes lately, but yeah. But I hope you'll enjoy it anyway. I don't know why, I kind of feel guilty that it may not be as many parts as some of the others, but I guess every type of image varies as to the length of time it takes you to do it. I guess it does. I guess it does, I guess it does. But yeah, basically with the other image too, we'll basically just be repeating the same colours I did on that side with this side, and yeah, it really did work for me, kind of doing a bit of working out with these ones with the background, doing a bit of preparation in advance with the background, because then I have a clear idea of what I'm doing with the background, rather than so many times I've gone into these images and then I've been lost because I've had no idea what I'm doing with the background and stuff. So being able to sit and spend quite a few hours working on that, it did just allow me to feel more confident and have a clear idea as to what I'm going to do with the background. So it really did work out that way, and there may be more times in the future that I do it that way. We'll just have to see. But yeah, I hope it all works out okay for you, and I hope you can work out sort of roughly the width and stuff to do the black background and everything like that. That's why I wanted to show you it in advance, so that you could see roughly the size of that black background. Just going to outline each of these so that I know which ones are the brown ones. But yeah, also, I don't know exactly when this video will be going up, but the reason why there haven't been a few videos up, because I'm doing a lot of pre-recording in advance. But part of that pre-recording is so that I can start trying to get back ahead of things a bit, but also get back to, shall we say, being able to do at least 6 days a week videos, because I want to have at least a day for myself. And yeah, so that is part of my reasoning as to why nothing's been going up at the moment, because I'm just really focusing on trying to do as much recording as I can whilst things are a bit quieter and stuff with the school and everything else, just because, yeah, well, I want to try and get a whole heap of videos done in advance and then just sort of work on editing them and uploading them all and start getting back onto a bit more of a regular schedule again. So that's my goal anyway. And yeah, so yeah, depending on when this video goes up, depends, I guess, as to when you see if there's why there hasn't been videos and that, but it basically is just because I've been spending a lot of time just recording a whole heap of stuff, and I've still got a whole heap to go yet. I think I've still got 14, 15 videos to record yet that I'm working on. But yeah, I do feel a lot happier knowing exactly what I'm doing with the background area, and then working that with our image. I feel a lot more confident knowing about it rather than having to spend hours pondering over what to do after I've already done the other colours. It just seems to work. Like, it's not obviously going to be the full thing, because obviously you're going to want to see how to do parts of things. But yeah, I figured this background was simple enough that I sort of didn't need to show you how to sort of draw it and stuff like that, but also because, yeah, I just didn't want to take up a whole heap of your time with another black background yet again, and the hours it takes to do it using the gel pens. So yeah, and I need to move that up for this final little squaresies. And I'm just going to pause for a minute because we're getting through the time a bit. It's probably because I talked a bit about what I'd been doing first. But yeah, I will see you back shortly. So hey everyone, I'm back. So I actually forgot that I was started recording a part for this part of Johanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly book. Yeah, I really forgot that I did have this going. I noticed too, unlike my Summer Dreams image, I actually seem to have left the pencil lines on there when I wasn't, I guess, necessarily intending to, which is probably why I've covered them over with the black gel pen. But yeah, something to keep in mind for next time when I do it anyway, is to erase the lines before I do it. And I'll probably do that a bit with the other piece, which I haven't continued with that yet. I still have to do a little bit of that off camera. So it's definitely in the works, but yeah, it'll happen. Anyway, I'm going to keep going here with my Fabercastell Polychromos Indian Red. And this is obviously for our golden shades. So we just want to draw a line along those pencil lines, but we also want to just do our little lighter area for blending the colours in. I'm trying not to, I've noticed that some of the pencil colour, I forgot to put glide wrap between this. It hasn't rubbed off on the other page, but I do notice that it has loosened and come off a bit. Like, there's some quite white spots in some of these areas. Like, this is a lot paler than it was when I originally did it, so sometimes it drives me crazy and I try touching it up before I should. But yeah, that's one thing that I have noticed with the Polychromos pencils, is that they do tend to rub off, particularly the lighter tones. They seem to rub off and go pale quite easily. And I don't know quite why, but it just seems to happen that way. So yeah, we just got to work around it, kind of thing. But it's just something that I've noticed anyway happening. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but yeah, I've just noticed that you can see a lot of the white paper through it after you've gotten a thick pencil covering, and then it's like all of a sudden it's rubbed off again, and I haven't even had my hand over those areas much at all, kind of thing. Like these areas I understand more because I've kind of had to rest my hand on there to do these areas, which I might even try turning it around like this so I'm not resting my hand on that side area. But it is something that I've noticed, that for some reason with the Polychromos pencils, whilst I love them and love using them, they do seem to rub off very, very easily, which is why hopefully when my friend can, he's going to make me like a pencil rest that I can slip over the book as it is, and that way I don't have to have my hand on the book at all. Hence it limits a lot more the colour removal as you are colouring on the image, because it stops your hand from, shall we say, being on the image basically. Which is great, it's a good thing. But yeah, that's just something that I have noticed happening quite a lot with Polychromos pencils, and I'm not quite sure why, because they're an amazing pencil. Obviously they hold up well to the light and have the light fast rating and stuff, but for some reason they very easily rub off again. So yeah, something to sort of work around. But I guess that's where things like an artist's hand rest and stuff like that, where you have it sort of sitting above the page so your hand doesn't rub on the page at all, it comes in handy. But yeah, so I'm going to go back to my Indian red now. I got a bit distracted there doing touch-ups again, and I just saw another one that needs a bit of a touch-up. Yeah, I'm getting a bit distracted. Calm down. You can touch them up after me. I just seem to, it really bugs me when the pencil colour rubs off when I'm doing it, but yeah, we'll work around it. So yeah, continuing with our iron red, we want to go along sort of these pencil lines and add in sort of our lighter shading bit, just because we are trying to have a bit of an area where it can be blended in with the next colour. And we obviously want to continue with the same as with our other patterns. We do, and the same directions and everything like that. Obviously some of the angles are slightly different in different squares, I've noticed. But yeah, not much I can really do about that. It is what it is when they're hand drawn, I guess. We just work with what we've got. Just shows it's authentic hand drawn pieces, I guess. I think that's it. I don't know. I know I'm going to pay for this later, but currently with the painkiller my wrist is not hurting as much. I can feel it sort of hurting at times and stuff like that, my wrist and hand. but it's like obviously the painkiller is stopping it from hurting as much as it could be. So that's a good thing, but I probably will pay for it later. So we finished that colour now. So now we want to come in. I'm trying to remember the exact way that I did these colours. Oh yeah, I think I did it this way. I remember now. So next I want to come in with my Fabercastell Polychromos Terracotta, and we want to bring that in over these colours and up a bit so that we've got a bit of that terracotta colour showing out here. Obviously leaving room because we've still got another couple of colours that I want to aim to add in yet. And these aren't blending in quite as well as I thought they might. They haven't at the bottom either. Oh well, we'll just work with it as it is for this time. Like, obviously I've left a little light area so that you can blend it in easier, but it's still not blending the best it could right now. But it doesn't look bad, so I'm not going to stress over it like sometimes I do with those things when I get all perfectionist and picky. Obviously leaving a little light shading area with this colour, with our terracotta as well, so that we can blend our next colour in a bit easier as well. Yeah, I hope you'll enjoy this colour along anyway. I know I didn't actually show you, I looked back over what I previously recorded, and I know I didn't actually show you how I was drawing these bits, but I sort of explained it in that first part. I did. And I'm obviously just blending it as I usually would blend it as well over all the other colours. Okay, so keep working here. I'm I'm just going to sharpen this a bit just to make it a bit easier, because it's getting a little blunter. There we go, that's better. It's starting to warm up here. Summer's on the way. Definitely is. I don't know why when I started this one I didn't think about erasing the pencil lines first. Because with my own image, the first thing I thought of was, oh, those pencil lines are probably going to show through too much. I should probably try and erase them as I go, and even in some areas they still showed through too much and I had to do fixes on them. So, kind of crazy how your brain thinks differently for different things. There it is. No, I'd gone and put this book back away on my shelf because I really forgot about it, and then I found the camera card and I'm like, oh, that's right, I think I had a piece that I'd started on that camera card, but then I was doing my Summer Dreams recording, and so I just left the card separate so I could continue that piece on that card, and I kind of forgot what the piece was, and I'd actually gone and packed this back on my bookshelf because I thought I was done with it, and I forgot about the pieces that I had started in it. So yeah, that was a whoopsie moment, but I didn't even look inside it when I checked. But yeah, it's kind of like, oh, whoops, I forgot about that one. I better get it back out again. And better finish off that tutorial bit, because I've obviously still got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces, I think. Oh no, take at least one of those books off because it's one that I've got to finish after I've recorded a part, so I've got at least 10 more recordings to go yet before I am going to be looking at editing this. Obviously, as I said in other videos, these are probably going to be all weird and out of whack because of the fact that I've recorded them at different times and they'll probably go in different orders and blah blah blah, but yeah, it is what it is. Obviously I've just pre-recorded all of these and then I'm going to keep working on it. New parts on top of that, etc, etc. Moving this down, yep, it's all in frame, so I don't have to move it down any further. Woohoo! But yeah, so you may see bits out of order where I don't have the brace on, and then other bits where I do have the brace on, and yeah, it's going to be probably all over the place anyway. But we'll survive. Just obviously I've recorded these in all mismatched orders and not particular orders, so yeah. That's what I tend to do. I record the bits as I feel like it and then just put them into their right orders, so that's what I'm currently doing with a lot of these books, including the new pieces I've started on and blah blah blah. And I think in the first piece I was talking about the half an hour to an hour. I noticed that's kind of gone out the window lately just because of how long it's taking me with my wrist and hand the way it is. So I'll probably just show you the whole background, and then we'll obviously come back for the next part with our butterfly and leaves and stuff like that. I've sort of decided, well, whilst I was trying to do that to make it easier for people to watch the pieces and stuff, I'm just going to do it whatever time works, or whatever time it takes to do something, or however long it takes me to do certain pieces. Yeah, I'm just going to spend that time on it. So I guess time may vary, it may be shorter, it may be longer, but either way, that's just, I guess, how it's going to be, because sometimes I may want to do more than just one flower for you on the piece, or I may want to work on it longer and stuff like that. So I kind of don't want to restrict myself to specific time limits or time frames either, if that makes sense. So I'm sort of now going to just do the pieces however they work out, however long they work out. That's what they are, that's how long they are, etc, etc. So yeah, and I hope you'll still enjoy them anyway, but it doesn't mean that you can't pause them in between or anything like that and keep going with them later on. It's always a way to do things anyway. You don't have to watch them all in one go. It's totally not necessary to watch them all in one go. If you don't have the time to watch them all straight away, you can just watch them a little bit at a time. So a little part of it today, a little part tomorrow, that sort of thing. Sometimes I do that with videos. It's just nothing wrong with it. Just means that's how you're able to do it. Yeah. And I'm not worried if you can only watch them like that or anything. And if you want to make a comment during one part and you haven't finished watching it yet, feel free to make multiple comments. I'm really not worried about it. Yeah, that is something that I've sort of realised, that I can't really put myself under a time deadline or anything like that with the videos that I'm doing, because it doesn't work all the time. Like, obviously there's going to be times it takes me longer to do things, other times there'll be times where it takes me less time to do things. It's just, and I can't put a specific time deadline on my video because I don't necessarily like cutting things off when I haven't gotten to a decent point that I can show you, so you can either continue it by yourself off camera or stuff like that. So it's like, I'm sort of realising that it's not really realistic to put specific time frames or time deadlines for doing a certain bit and piece on the thing, and because I am slower, that half an hour might only be one flower or something like that, and as I said, I might want to do more than one flower on that part or stuff like that. So yeah, I'm starting to realise that specific time deadlines aren't really realistic for me. So whatever time you get, I guess that's what you get. So yeah, I'm just going to pause there for a minute just because we're at 20 minutes with the camera card, and then I will obviously come back and continue with our next colour. I hope you're enjoying this, and I will see you back here shortly. So hey everyone, I'm back. So our next colour that we're going to come in with is our Fabercastell Polychromos Burnt Ochre, and we kind of want to bring in that colour over all our previous colours. Yes, it does look a bit, I have noticed it does look a little darker than the previous colour, even though it looks lighter, but it still shows out the other colour. Littles, quiet! Sorry. She barks anytime the neighbours do something, or there's someone at the back of the school or anything like that. So I have noticed that it is darker, obviously, I tried doing a bit of light source areas there. I noticed the other colour still does show through anyway. But yeah, that is something that I have noticed. Like, I thought it was obviously a lighter colour because it looks a lot lighter than our terracotta, but yeah, it's obviously sort of, I guess, a duller, darker tone kind of thing, but it still works, so yeah. We're using it anyway this way. And we're just shading that over all our other colours like we usually do as well. If I don't shade it over the other colours, I'll sort of say in the video that I'm not going to, or stuff like that. I will. And obviously it's getting slightly faster each time, as I think I said in another video recently, because you're getting less space each time you do it and you're just going over the other colours, and hence it makes it faster and quicker and easier because you've already got where your shadow areas are defined. And obviously I'm going from my shadows to my lighter areas, which makes it faster with each colour you add because you're filling in more space, but also you are able to, I guess, go over all the previous colours if you decide to, because of the fact that you started with your dark shade, and as a result of starting with that dark shade, it means that you can just colour your lighter colours over that area if you want to, if that makes sense. Do we need to move that up now? Yes, we do, because then we can not move it again to finish the rest of those bits. I'm gonna have to go over and fix up the pink colour on the bottom squares too. I was just distracted by them briefly because I noticed some are looking a bit whiter than they should. Focus on what I'm currently doing. I just keep getting distracted too easily. So some of these, I was trying to get a bit of that yellow in it, but I obviously didn't succeed very well with that one. Because all the bottom ones had the bits of yellow and that, but these ones are obviously won't end up with so much just because of the space. But it's the same space as the bottom, so I don't know what I'm doing. Who knows? We can still put it over anyway, and hopefully it'll bring some yellow or mustard or whichever it is, yellow ochre I think it is, into it to create our goldy sort of tone. So that's what we want. No, the triangles don't look bigger either, and most of them don't. Who knows? I'm confused. It's been nearly a month since I started on this one, so I'm kind of a bit, my brain's a bit like, now what exactly were you doing with this piece? Kind of thing. So yeah, I'm trying to remember how I was going to be doing this piece and everything like that. Like, I was going to do it with like the golds and pinks, but I'm trying to remember how I got so many things in such little spaces, whereas this one I seem to be, at the top I seem to be taking up most of these little bottom triangle spaces that were supposed to have that colour in them, but it's supposed to have the final colour in them, and obviously you can see the final colour in them, but for some reason in these top ones I'm not seeing that, and they seem to be filling up a lot faster, so I must have done things slightly differently somehow, but I can't quite remember how I did things because it's been a month or so since I last did anything with it, so I probably should have made some notes on how I was doing it so that I could remember for sure. But yeah, that's what happens when something all of a sudden comes up, I guess, and you put down what you're currently doing for other things. I guess it is. Okay, now just check the time. Yep, we got time. So I'm going to come in now with my last colour, which is my yellow ochre. And I want to bring that in all these areas. Hopefully we'll get some of the yellow ochre showing through in these areas that have basically been filled up, that at the bottom obviously aren't as filled, but yeah, hopefully we can get a bit of that burnt ochre into them anyway, even though they don't seem to have as much room for it as these top ones, but I'll work it out as I go, I guess. I'll have to. So you notice it's nice and smooth here, but then the bottom ones, where I haven't touched them up, the colour had started rubbing off, so yeah, fun times. Fun times. I actually quite like this yellow ochre. That I've only discovered it really recently, but it actually makes a really nice sort of gold tone to have our light source area. It does. Yeah, no, you can't see much of that yellow ochre through those little bottom triangles. I've obviously have done something slightly different. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I think I just remembered what it was. That third colour, I didn't actually bring that up and showing so much than I did in these top ones, which is probably where that's come from. Oh well, they'll work. They'll work as they are. You can still see a bit that there's a light source in there anyway, so yeah, we'll just make it work as it is. Forgot to do a little bit of our light source area there for blending the colour in. So you don't have, I try to avoid, if I can, getting a definite stripe between my shadow and where I am colouring, if I can avoid it. Like this one, I'm noticing some of those stripes, like sometimes I don't mind the stripe or want the stripe there, but other times you can't avoid it as easily as you'd like to, just because of the range of colours you're using or any of that. It sort of seems, I've noticed it seems to vary with the colours you're using as to if you get more of that definitive stripe or whether you're using colours that are close together and as a result blend in better and together and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, it all varies quite a bit. Or just how quickly you go from like a really dark colour to a bright colour or a lighter colour, etc, etc. Seems to be many different variations in the equation. It does. We got our last couple of squares to go with this goldy tone, and then we'll bring in our pink tones. I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm just going to pause it there for a minute, then we're going to come back and continue with our pink tones. I really hope you've enjoyed this part. If you have, please leave a like. Oh, what am I doing? No, I might actually end it here and we'll continue with the background with the next part with the pink, and just so that you got a variation of lengths, because I know some of them have been going a lot longer lately because of the way my hand is, etc. So I actually will end that here. I really hope you enjoyed this, the start of this background tutorial, or background part slash colour along part. If you have, please leave a like, subscribe and comment. I really love hearing from you, and I love talking to you all and helping you out. Yeah, and if you do have anything you want to ask or whatever, please feel free, and I will see you next time. Bye!